Hi, this is Arthur, and this is a summary of the story of the Trailblaze Continuance, A Foxian Tale of the Haunted, released in Honkai Star Rail version 1.5. The Trailblazer gets a message from Gwynaifin to go see some supernatural stuff. She heads over to meet Gwynaifin at Arum Alley. Once there, Gwynaifin shows the Trailblazer a video of supposed ghosts she saw at Fixtral Garden. What's interesting was two judges from the Ten Lords Commission appeared at the end of the video. Gwynaifin says the judges kicked them out and set up something. Gwynaifin suggests they head to Fixtral Garden to investigate, and the traveler agrees. They head over and are attacked by lawful officials. Just as things are getting hairy, Hanya, Shueyi, and Huohuo show up and stop the fighting. All three are judges from the Ten Lords Commission. The judges explain the ghosts Gwynaifin saw were actually energy parasites known as heliobi. Side note, heliobi is plural and heliobus is singular. Huohuo then calls out a heliobus from her tail named Tail. Hanya then explains damage was done to the Artisanship Commission's creation furnace, which imprisoned many heliobi. Those heliobi escaped and are now haunting Fixtral Garden. The judges are here because the Ten Lords Commission ordered them to set up an evil binding matrix to imprison them in Fixtral Garden until the creation furnace is repaired. Hanya further explains that heliobi are generally dangerous, attaching themselves to a host and feeding off their experiences and emotions. The heliobi will then take control of the host's nervous system and manipulate them. The judges call this possession. Eventually, that possession will lead to the host's death. As for Tail, Tail was captured and sealed by Hanya into Huohuo's tail, so he's harmless. The judges then tell them to leave. They leave with Huohuo when Gwynaifin suddenly disappears. They look around for her when the Trailblazer finds a bronze mirror that sucks her into an illusionary maze. As the Trailblazer makes her way through the maze, a heliobus named Cirrus possesses her. Cirrus says it does not seek to harm her, it only wants to escape this place. They continue on together until they find Huohuo. Tail notices the Trailblazer is possessed by Cirrus. They continue on, and Cirrus explains that over 1,000 years ago, a great battle took place between Ten Shao, the general of the Lawfu at the time, and the heliobus Ignomar. After the battle, Ignomar fragmented into separate heliobi, which were sealed in the creation furnace. These now escaped heliobi gather here again in hopes of battling the general of the Lawfu. Huohuo also explains that when she first met Tail, Tail tried to consume her before Hanya sealed him into her tail. They continue on and eventually escape the illusions with the help of Shueyi. Once out, Shueyi explains Fixtral Garden was dragged into an illusion by a powerful heliobus named Furinox. Cirrus tells him it has a plan to defeat Furinox. Cirrus explains heliobi can merge with each other and create powerful heliobus like Furinox. However, merging requires an internal balance that is easily broken. Cirrus suggests they break Furinox apart and then capture Furinox's fragments into sacred vessels. They approach Furinox and Cirrus challenges it to a fight with the Trailblazer. If Furinox wins, Cirrus will voluntarily be absorbed into Furinox. The Trailblazer and Huohuo do battle with Furinox's possessed forces and capture their heliobi fragments in a sacred vessel. Just when things are looking up, a possessed Gwynaifin takes the sacred vessel and smashes it. Heliobi escaping the sacred vessel now recognize Cirrus's power and merge with Cirrus. With his new power, Cirrus takes control of the previously defeated possessed forces and fight the Trailblazer yet again. They continue fighting, but it doesn't look like they can win. Just then, Huohuo releases Tail's seal and Tail merges with Cirrus, disrupting the balance between merged heliobi. They now fight the weakened Cirrus and defeat him. Afterwards, Shueyi explains reinforcements from the Ten Lords Commission are arriving with additional sacred vessels. Gwynaifin is taken to an apothecary for treatment. As for Cirrus, though defeated, it is not dead. Cirrus now possesses a young spiritfarer, but it is in custody. As for Tail, it is nowhere to be found. They speak to Huohuo, who asks them to notify Sushang about Gwynaifin's situation. They head over, and Sushang says she will check up on Gwynaifin. Sometime later, Gwynaifin messages the Trailblazer and says Hanya invited them for a meeting at Fixtral Garden. They head over, and Huohuo and Sushang are there too. Hanya then enlists them as a special heliobi hunting squad commissioned by the Ten Lords Commission. Under Huohuo's leadership and using Gwynaifin's social media knowledge, the group seeks to capture escaped heliobi. They first head to Cirrus to try and get information. Cirrus agrees to help if they arrange a fight between Cirrus and the current general of the Lawfu. They head over to General Jing Yuan, who agrees with Cirrus's demand. They all head back where Jing Yuan issues his own challenge to Cirrus. If Cirrus can defeat the heliobi hunting squad, it will then be worthy of fighting Jing Yuan. If Cirrus loses, it will answer one of their questions. Cirrus agrees and loses the fight. They then ask Cirrus about a web post regarding Bailu that may involve heliobi. Cirrus says a heliobus named Luxie is likely involved. They head over to Aurum Alley to investigate and find a possessed Bailu. After chasing Bailu around a heliobus illusion, they eventually catch Bailu and exorcise Luxie. They post about it on Gwenifen's blog and imprison Luxie in a suppression tower in Fixtral Garden. The group continues investigating and capturing heliobi until they find a post about a heliobi in the Divination Commission. They head over to Cirrus, and after defeating it again, Cirrus says the heliobus in the Divination Commission is called Carolum. They head over to the Divination Commission and see Qingtre, who takes them to a possessed Fu Xuan. They try to free Fu Xuan but cannot seem to do so. Fu Xuan then takes them to play a puzzle game called Pathfinder. Through playing this game, the possessed Fu Xuan hopes to show them that they are prisoners of an inevitable destiny. However, Qingtre argues that even in the face of an inevitable destiny, the choices we make on the way to that destiny still hold meaning. They then do battle and after winning, exorcise Fu Xuan and capture Carolum. They return to Fixtral Garden and imprison Carolum in a suppression tower. The group continues investigating web posts and looking for Tail. They eventually find a case involving a crazed Cloud Knight and head over and subdue him. They then speak with him and it seems the heliobus possessing him left and now possesses Yanqing. They later find one of Yanqing's flying swords and follow it to him. Once there, a possessed Yanqing is goaded by the heliobus Apira into fighting the Trailblazer. Su Shang then tells them she will hold off Yanqing and they should go find Jing Yuan. They get Jing Yuan and bring him back, which wakes Yanqing up. They then battle illusions created by Apira and successfully capture it. They head back to Fixtral Garden and seal Apira in a suppression tower. Sometime later, Huohuo seems to have gone missing and the group heads to Cirrus for information. They talk to Cirrus and learn that it sent Huohuo to Cloudford. They head over and find Huohuo possessed by a heliobus and trapped in an illusion. Hanya says they can drive out the heliobus by using another heliobus. Hanya then reveals she had Tail in her custody this whole time. Turns out Tail requested to be imprisoned after their fight with Cirrus released him from Huohuo's tail. Now that Huohuo is in trouble, Tail agrees to save Huohuo and be resealed into her tail as he considers her a coworker now. Tail goes in and successfully exorcises Huohuo. Just then they get news that something is going on in Fixtral Garden and they head back. Once there, they find Cirrus has again gathered the other heliobi and grown powerful. He attacks, but they eventually defeat Cirrus with Jing Yuan's help. Later, Tail is consensually sealed within Huohuo's tail again, and the captured heliobi are sealed within a suppression tower. And that is the end of this quest in this video. If you've liked what you've seen here, please like, comment, and subscribe.